Hello everyone, welcome to mindovermania. My name is Christian, and today we are doing another pick a group reading. Today's topic is going to be what is causing your obsession. Okay, so obsession in general, when we're talking about obsession, we're focused on not just even about a relationship, but it's the idea of you have a looping thought pattern that's going over and over and over in your head. Now, just because you have a particular thought in your head that's looping over and over, that doesn't necessarily indicate that it is an obsession, actually. But we're going to go with that definition for now, so that way y'all can see what the vibes are when it comes to these messages. I hope that helps you with at least trying to understand what the vibe is going to be with this pick a card reading today. In order to use this video to select your messages, I want you to think about the thing that you're currently obsessed over. Whether it's a person, maybe it's about a certain situation or a particular topic. I want you to think about that firmly in your mind's eye. Think about that firmly in your mind's eye. And when you look at one of these piles here, whatever you are drawn to the most is more than likely your pile. We have 4 piles to choose from today. I am featuring the art of the lovely illustrated ink by Leila. Here is her business card if you want to follow her. Check her stuff out on Etsy. Check her stuff out on Etsy and give her some support and love. I absolutely adored the artwork, and I got to meet her at a vendor market this past weekend, and she was absolutely amazing. Representing our pals today for group number 1, we have Scorpio. We have La Serena. We have La Garza for group number 3. And for pile number 4, we have El Venado. Yeah, please excuse my pronunciations. I hope I pronounced it as best as I could. Anyways, like I said, please check out the artist that made these lovely... Please check out the artist that designed these lovely postcards today, and I will see you at your pile. See ya. Hello, everyone. You have chosen pile number 1, and these are going to be your messages on what's causing your obsession. Okay, so right off the bat, there's a couple different mixed groups that are watching this pile, so I don't know if some of y'all just picked the Scorpio because you said, oh, I love astrology, or I'm a Scorpio, I've got like a Scorpio in my 10th house, or whatever, or it's my rising sign. Which, I mean, that's fine. Go ahead and you do you. However, in terms of like the obsession quality in this pile, I feel like this isn't necessarily focused on a particular energy. Okay? And maybe your relationship with obsession really isn't grounded. Like, I definitely feel with this pile there's could be an obsession with astrology, right? Where there's this idea that like, okay, well, I can justify this behavior because this is my astrological sign, and there needs to be kind of a grounded balance in terms of what is part of your psychology, of how your brain, body, mind, spirit works, and then there's what also people are kind of showcasing to you about your sign and astrology. I'm not going to go into that, and again, this is not dissing the astrology community, because I have wonderful friends that do amazing psychology, or I have amazing friends who do absolutely amazing work in astrology. I'm just highlighting that seems to be an underlying energy with this particular pile that, if you're not going to feel drawn to the messages for this particular pile, follow your intuition, please. I definitely have very specific For y'all's general information, I have very specific readings, and so that's why I recommend doing a double check with your intuition if you find that the messages in this pile today don't fit, because I do feel like as you kind of get into this pile and the energies that are going on here, you may end up choosing another pile or finding that this video isn't meant for you. Yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what are you obsessed about, Scorpio, and why are you obsessed? What is your obsession? Maybe you're obsessed with the idea of obsession, or there's some kind of like an idealism with this pile. So say, for example, I'm noticing the back of this scorpion, okay? And it's absolutely gorgeous, right? Look at all the flowers on the back. And so there's something about this pile group number 1 where you have a bit of individualism about you, right? Because when you think of scorpions, right, they tend to have a lot of mystery to them. There's this dangerous aspect of like being attacked, but then when you're seeing the flowers painted on this one's back, I feel like you guys are very expressive and emotional, and I feel like some of you guys are trying to really balance out this energy where you're saying, hey, don't judge me because I'm a Scorpion. I actually have a lot of flowers and roses to me too. And maybe this is something that you're struggling with in your life right now, where while, yes, maybe you have this scorpionic energy to you, a lot of people view you maybe as dangerous or obsessive, when really there's something about this energy where it's kind of more of a personality trait that's kind of being put on you rather than... Yeah, it's almost like there's a personality trait that is being projected onto you rather just saying, hey, I'm an intense person. I'm an intense, multifaceted human. And just because you think that a scorpion can't hang out with roses does not mean that does not mean that that's how the world works. I do feel like you guys like to stick it to the man a lot. Yeah, but that's not necessarily about your obsession. Okay, again, I feel like maybe there's something that you're avoiding admitting to yourself about your obsession. Maybe you're like, I'm not that obsession. It's just my personality. Let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say. We've got express yourself artistically. Okay, we have something unique to just us. Oh my gosh, maybe that's where the obsession is coming in with. In relationships where you're just like, oh... we're unique. We've got something special, you and I. And yeah, I totally don't stalk your social media. Instead, I conjure up I do witchcraft and tarot readings and all kinds of things to check to make sure how many babies we're gonna have before we get married. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely seems to be, at least in relationships, if that's your obsession, an escalation to things where you're like, oh no, other obsessed people, they stalk social media and drive by their house. You're already figuring out what your phone bill plan is going to be in the year of 2027 after you guys have already gotten together. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. And ironically too, I'm looking outside the window and there's all this pollen that just fell outside the window. So yeah, I feel like maybe your obsession is probably tied to romanticism, or again, like I said, idealism. We've got people got some strong opinions about this. Yeah. Intensity. Intensity is the game you guys are playing. Intensity is the game you all are Intensity is the game you all are playing, and with strong opinions, it feels very much there's an obsessive quality to your opinions too. It's almost like when you have a thought or a feeling of very strong emotion to it, you have to follow it. That is your objective truth. And that is inherent to what scorpionic energy is. However, again, I don't want you guys to base your knowledge of yourself around just like a zodiac sign, right? This is supposed to be like, zodiac signs tend to be very archetypal in their nature, and so they have a lot of concepts that you can work with. But again, you don't want to stray into the territory where this kind of energy cannot be serving you, okay? The next card you got was, I seriously need a trip to the beach. Okay, so maybe you guys, your obsession, like qualities or romanticism has caused you to really burn yourself out. And so the fact that you're continuing to spiral or loop on this topic, your body is asking you guys to rest. Again, maybe the beach, water really would make sense with this kind of energy. So taking the time to go take a bath, go hang out by a river, even a lake, whatever you can do to get more access to water, I think that would be really cleansing for whatever you're being stuck on. Again, whatever's causing the obsession, though, there's a good amount of this energy that I'm feeling like you can't inherently change. Yeah, because like as I'm like pulling these cards, I'm kind of sitting here realizing that I don't think. Yeah, I feel like as I'm channeling these cards, I feel like they're. Sorry, guys. When I was recording this, there was a lot of like really defensive energy. So I'm gonna try like shifting my vibe a little bit, to maybe be more in alignment because I feel like there's a lot of projection kind of going on back and forth. Okay, y'all. I apologize. I had to kind of cut the recording real fast. There was a lot of energetic interference and kind of a little bit of a conflict, maybe between either my spirit guides and y'all's, or there was just kind of something going on where there was a lot of like, hey, let's clear the table, let's clear the energy and figure out what's kind of going on between us. So maybe you guys have people projecting things onto you a lot. Maybe you're trying to be unique and doing something that goes against the status quo. And so when it comes to getting to the root of your obsession, I think maybe what's happening to you guys, pile number one, is honestly you're getting met with a lot of resistance from other people. And I think it kind of forces you to become obsessive about your strong opinions simply because you get so much backlash. Okay, so maybe you guys are very open about your sexuality. Maybe you're saying, hey, I have this belief system. And instead of people just casually saying, oh, hey, I don't necessarily agree with that, but you do you, right? There's not that kind of energy with this pile. I feel like you guys say, hey, I believe in psychology and spirituality. For example, that's like my whole theme with this YouTube channel and how I do my readings. And all of a sudden, all of this energy and hate comes through that has nothing to do with what was said and is everything to do with this pushback of other people's emotions and thoughts and feelings. And I feel like the root of y'all's obsession is just self-defense at this point. Yeah, like I said, I had to sit and clear my energy out because I was like, what the hell is going on? I normally don't receive this much resistance. And so I feel like you guys are probably under a lot of pressure as well, either to perform or again, with the pressures of being a traditional Scorpio or saying, hey, I have this dangerous aspect to me, but I can also be pretty too. Like there's definitely kind of a war, an internal battle that you guys are fighting that really doesn't feel like is well deserved, honestly. Again, I'm seeing like the eye on her business card right now where it's like you're just feeling watched and it's become obsessive to the point where maybe sometimes you go spiraling out because you're having such a hard time trying to maintain what is me and what's not me. So yeah, feel free to check out some of my other videos on my YouTube channel, because I do kind of talk about things like enmeshment and entanglement. And also my blog has stuff about this stuff. And my blog has articles kind of talking about this sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm so sorry for what you guys are going through because this energy is very intense. I had to like back off for a minute. Okay, we have laugh it off. Yeah, you guys definitely maybe have a sarcastic quality to you, or you know, maybe you're getting laughed at sometimes, so you just play things off. I do feel like there's an energy of deflecting with humor with you guys simply because it's again, people don't want to do the work. They don't want to work with y'all, pile number one, and it's simply because of just who you are. And that's really sad. Yeah, I'm sitting here going like, y'all, there is so much chaos going on with your obsessive energies because I'm like, people do want to work with you, pile number one. You're just internalizing all of this other people's shit. Probably from your past, probably from childhood, but specifically with the laugh it off, like, you guys are funny. Y'all make people happy. Yeah, so maybe also what's going on with this obsessiveness is there's a lot of, like, I'm hearing like groom, like I feel like you guys were kind of groomed to hate yourselves too, and you're kind of undoing that, and that's also getting rooted into this obsession because it's like an obsession with negativity that it's like, oh, I've got to be dark and scary all the time because this bad thing happened to me or because I can kick ass or something. Ugh, okay, yeah, ew, ew, ew. Yeah, y'all. I hope you're doing your spiritual work, saying your prayers, and yeah, sending you some loving, healing energy right now, pile number one. Jeez. It's their world, their choice. Yeah, okay, so part of your obsession is you really struggle with accepting other people's choices. However, I don't feel like this comes from the fact that you can't mind your business. I think it literally comes from the fact that you are constantly feeling like, and I shouldn't even say feeling like, other people are telling you that this is the way the world works, so you need to go sit over in the corner, think about what you did, and when your crazy little phase is over, you can come back and hang out with us again when you sit down and behave. But what you're inherently saying, Scorpio, or pile number one, is it's not my fault I'm a Scorpion, right? For some reason, I'm hearing the band The Scorpions, so I don't know if you've heard of them, but Rock You Like a Hurricane's one of their famous ones. But yeah, there's something about like what's causing your obsessive qualities is because it's your way of, or your body and mind's way of reacting to the fact that people are projecting a version of the world that you don't fit into onto you. And so you're constantly in this battle of people saying, well, you're choosing to be this way. You're choosing to be this way. Instead of, this is who I am. It's not my fault and not my choice that this is who I am. Right? And here's the thing, it doesn't matter if it's not my choice, because I just exist as I am. And you guys have such a problem with that. And you're making it about me instead of about the fact that you're intolerant. Oh my gosh, yeah, I think you guys are gonna have to definitely do some work of clearing out other people's bullshit from your head, because this is so confusing in my mind right now. I can't even think straight. I'm gonna try getting through the reading, y'all. This is really intense. So I appreciate you guys being here because this is hard. Like, I can see you guys. This is why maybe you guys spiral out. It really doesn't have anything to do with you. You're just trying to cope with being a Scorpio in a Leo themed world, I guess. I'm not straight. Surprise. Yeah, some of you guys, maybe you're queer. Maybe, again, you're artsy. Maybe there's something about you that, you know, you don't have to be queer, but there's this energy of like people always suspect something's off with you. And so, again, they're labeling it as there's something wrong. So you need to be eliminated or fixed, or you have to prove that you're not like those other people. And it's kind of like, well, surprise, I don't have to do that. I don't owe that. I don't owe you that shit. You know what I mean? But I do think it still hurts you inherently. And that's why I think, like, too, I feel like you guys are also the people that, like, you want to paint yourselves, or you paint on your battle armor. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, I can be a badass warrior, but I can also look good while doing it. You know? And I think people are pretty jealous. That's why I think a lot of, too, the obsession, the energies between obsession and jealousy seem to also be kind of playing a role in this energy as well. Playing a role in this dynamic as well. And with the unique, it could be one of those things where other people are obsessed with you, and maybe when you were younger you weren't able to distinguish that, and then maybe it screwed you up along the line, or maybe you had a glow up and then people really got triggered by your glow up, and so then that kind of messed you up because suddenly you went from like, oh, everybody likes me, to why does everyone hate me? Why is everyone being mean and rude to me? Like, what the hell? Like, why can't I just have an opinion? Like, why are you aggressive towards me? And a lot of it's rooted in jealousy and insecurity, guys. And so then, again, your mind is reacting to the obsessions of other people, the goals of other people, whatever, and this is just how your body, mind, and spirit's reacting. And again, you keep having this idea that this is their world when it's not. It's your world too. There's a space for you, group number one, as you are. Like, hell yeah, like, look at how cool this Scorpion is. Look at how freaking cool. And there's something about you that's so triggering to people because you're like, that's not natural. Like people would literally be like, that's a scorpion. Why would you like a scorpion that's painted like that? Scorpions don't naturally look like that. And it's like, it's fucking art. Grow up. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Yeah, you guys have been fighting so long and hard against this world that just doesn't understand you, and I just want to give you guys big hugs because I just all right. You're responsible for your circumstances. Yeah, there's just really harsh judgmental energy from people that I don't think they understand how they come across, and they don't understand the energy that's being channeled through them. Right? Because to me, it's like, okay, just because the scorpion is painted a different color doesn't mean it's not a scorpion. It doesn't mean it can't hurt you. It doesn't mean it's not, like, maybe there's something about y'all pile number one where they think that, oh, because you love flowers and more feminine things that you can't hurt somebody, that stinger hurts less, or you're soft or whatever. So then, if anything, you overcompensated and became really dangerous. So for those of you that applies to, I respect you. But you also want to make sure that reserve the flowers and the softness and kindness for yourself as well. It's all the more important that you, as much as you build up and become strong, you also become stronger in your kindness and your compassion and your softness as well. You don't need to split yourself into two different versions of you just to exist and survive in this society. Okay? Like, I've got nails that I painted myself, and I can still fight people. No, I don't recommend fighting while you have long nails. But you know what I'm saying, though, is that does not stop my energy and my being from existing just because I painted my nails. Okay? I think you guys just need to reassure yourselves, and be kinder to yourselves while you understand that, hey, a scorpion lives in the desert. That's hard. Okay? Maybe you guys live in a desert place. Or like a warm environment where it's hard to get resources. But guess what? You're still here. Yeah. Remind yourself who you are and own it. You're a survivor, guys. And you don't need to take anybody's shit. Yeah, let me get back to the cards. You make me want to be a better person. Aww. So maybe your obsession is also rooted in this energy. Where while on the one hand, you've got all of this toxic energy coming your way that's out of balance, you also have so much inspiration, right? So some of you guys, you're really great at transmuting the fact that saying like, okay, I can weed out the criticism from the truths that I want to follow, right? And what I do want to work on. And there's something about you guys having the resilience and the dexterity to say, okay, I'm just going to become stronger. I'm going to become more battle ready. I don't need to listen to you because, again, I'm a scorpion. Like, y'all can talk your shit, but I'm going to keep moving. Oh, I just want to cheer you guys on because, like, with that, I want to be a better person. Some of that's a little bit in insecurity as a result of this wound, but a lot of it comes down to that's just who you are. You transform. You continue to grow and shine. You know, it's like if someone comes in and tramples on your garden, you're like, okay, I'll just learn another way to grow a better garden. Maybe I'm not going to do things above ground anymore. Maybe I'm going to do things in secret and private, but I'm still going to be just as powerful as I was before. So anything you throw back at me, I'm going to send back to you tenfold. But even still, that energy doesn't feel right because to you, you're kind of like, I don't want to give these assholes my time and energy anymore. I'm just going to get better. And then wash my hands clean of it. You know, stop fighting with losers, guys. There's an idiot complex in this society that you can't fix by being a badass. You just can't. There's just a realm that you need to accept. Okay, love all your ugly too. Yeah. Okay, so what's gonna help you with this like obsessive energy and overcompensating and overthinking is one, stop believing you're inherently ugly. Stop believing your authentic truth is ugly. Okay, because there's some of you guys that it's like, yeah, maybe you work a lot on your appearance, you work out, maybe you try really hard to make sure that, you know, you've got all your rings in a row. Yeah, something to do with rings or whatever. There's something about like you're keeping yourself trapped though. Yeah, maybe some of you guys are in a bad marriage or were in a bad marriage. But there's just kind of this energy of like I'm always feeling trapped. And it's because of my dark side. And you believe it's because you are victimizing yourself or you're a victim, but it's really you're just saying that the fact that you're even labeling that version of you as ugly at all, that's what the problem is. That's where the obsession with the self-improvement is and the transformation is it's the fact that you are meant to grow. You're meant to challenge. You have the ability to speak your truth in a coherent, clear way. Yeah, you guys are really awesome. And to me, it's kind of like if you gotta label versions of yourself as dark and whatever, it's kind of like the idea that, like, again, scorpions are associated with creepy things. Instead of just saying, a scorpion's just part of nature. Like, yeah, okay, it's maybe not the prettiest bug out there, but to some people, scorpions are really beautiful. So, it's really a matter of opinion. And when you start uprooting the labels and start getting to the meaning, then you're going to start appreciating what your gifts actually are. You're going to start appreciating your gifts and those versions of you that has nothing to do with obsession. Okay? Man, I don't want to... This reading's already been going on long enough, but I'm going to quickly go through the last round of cards because I pulled too many. But we've got pause. Yeah, so pause and think about what you're going to do next, especially like when you're on your self-care journey. Again, rest is going to be very pivotal for you guys while you are, again, because you're spending so much time focused on other people's energies and transmuting it, it's slowing you down and creating the obsessive loop. Pause and redirect your focus to the ugly and pulling out the labels, because that's going to move your energy a lot faster, because then you're going to realize, I don't even care about haters. I don't even notice them. I don't care about people that are obsessed with me. That said, obviously watch your stalkers, but you know what I mean. We've got cold. Ooh, some of you guys cutting people off. Yeah. Yeah. Reconnect with your soft side, with your softness, and this cold energy. I think you say you're reserving your coldness for other people, but there's a distinct group in this pile that it's just cold on the inside. Maybe you're warm on the outside, but it's a facade because you're working on this internally. And again, don't call it ugly. Don't call this version of you like that, because maybe it's just a pretty scorpion that needs to come out, and it's tired of getting treated like shit. So when you become your best friend instead of your bully, then you're going to have a home inside of yourself, and all this nastiness is going to clear away. You got self-indulgent. Yeah. Be a little self-obsessed. Everyone else seems to be. You probably came in like, because you guys care so intensely about people. It's kind of weird, because I feel like people call you self-indulgent just because you're an intense, passionate person and lover. And you're like, you don't even know what I'm like when I'm selfish. So get a little selfish. Show them up. Middle fingers up, okay? We've got wish, hope, praying, yearning. Yeah. It's okay to have wishes and dreams for yourself. But instead of doing this whole, like, ambitious campaign and stomping all over your needs, just sit and lightly say, I want to wish upon a star. I want to make a birthday wish. Because there's something about the word wish has a lighter connotation to manifestation than all this other stuff that you're kind of currently pumping out right now. Because again, you're in survival mode, but the thing is with scorpions, right, they have soft meat on the inside of them. And that meat is where your wishes are going to come from. And then when you start being like, hey, you know what I wish? I want a pink unicorn pencil. That's my wish. And you're like, oh, okay, inner child. And then boom, someone gives you one. Start wishing. Have hope. We've got anxiety, scared, panic. Yeah! I'm sorry, I didn't plan that. But yeah, like this is where all of this obsessive energy, it's another form of anxiety that's like keeping you constricted and down. Yeah, like his whole body's like covered in wires and stuff and like everything's blurry. Yeah, you're running away from this. This is what you're scared of, guys. This, because this right here, okay, I know this pile is getting long, but with this wish energy, this is the energy that scares your abusers. Because they know that it's a lot easier to fight a Scorpio and a Scorpion when other people are turned against them because of their vices than when they show their softness. They're cruel to you because when they see somebody that's different, that's not going in the stereotypes that they use to hurt people, you're going to create a lot of change and a lot of disruption. It's kind of like being like, oh, I'm a movie star, but I also play soccer. Oh, I'm a movie star, but on the weekends I play D&D with my friends. I'm a tattoo artist, but I also go to church. I'm a tattoo artist, and I'm running for president. There's all kinds of different mix and match ways that you can be. And that scares the crap out of people. And so when people get to finally see the not so scary side of you and realize, oh, this scorpion, maybe all scorpions aren't bad. Because when they see the cool one, suddenly everyone wants to be a scorpion. And then you're going to cause people to start not believing the lies that people are sharing. Or, like, for example, you guys, pile number one, maybe people are, like, talking shit about you and spreading misinformation. And then when people come up to, like, fight you over that, and then you just go, hey, actually, here's the receipts. That's going to piss off so many people. Because not only are your haters getting egg on their face, but the people that are trying to project things onto you are double getting egg on their faces. And they're going to run away scared. Again, how is this tied back to obsession? There could also be a lot of obsession and thinking going against like haters and fighting other people too. That would probably explain it because I'm like, why do I keep losing focus? And it's like, shit. Like, you guys might also have other things going on like ADHD or you're just going through a lot. I think you guys are processing a lot of energy too. So, and yeah, these are post-COVID times. Things are weird out here. We got unavailable. Yeah, so maybe this is also to you chase unavailable people because look at all the things that are going on here right now. Group number one. You don't have time for a person that's available for you because you are caught up in all this other people's shit. So detach. Like I said, when all of everyone else's crap and judgments and you find your inner zen, that's when your person's going to show up. That's when you're going to stop being around unavailable people. That's when suddenly you're like, and I got to break up with this person right now. Because you know when it's time to make a decision. And that's what makes you so powerful, guys. It feels like a snap judgment, and everyone's like, it's so sudden, it's whatever. And it's like, nope, it wasn't sudden. It was a long time coming. It's just, again, you're very intense and passionate, so people get really triggered. They're like, oh, it's your mental illness, or oh, it's whatever, you're doing drugs and whatever. And it's like, no. You don't understand my vibe. And they're like, that's toxic. And it's like, to an extent, yes. But also, when you're not paying attention to the context, that's the obsession. That's the root of the obsession. Laugh it off, guys. You got the Lovers in reverse, 8 of Swords, the 9 of Cups in reverse, and then the 6 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you guys are moving away from this old pattern, and moving towards something else, and it's going to be so much better for you. Anyways, y'all, thank you guys for sticking around to hear these messages. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. If this resonated with you, please share. Once again, please check out Illustrated Ink's art on Etsy, and at least follow her social medias and give her a thumbs up for her work, because she's really cool. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, links are in the description down below. Also, check out my website. We have lists of resources out there for mental health advice and all this other stuff. Check out my website. I have links to professional resources if you need them, such as therapists, nonprofits that work with homelessness, and other social issues. Please go ahead and check those out if you guys are struggling, especially if you're in the Austin/San Antonio area. Also, if you want to show me a little extra love, please follow me on Instagram and the social medias. Check me out on Instagram so that way you can see what kind of events are coming up. And yeah, I will see you all later. Take care. Bye. Hello, everyone. You have chosen group number 2. And these are going to be your messages on what is causing your obsession. All right, y'all. So just a little bit of background. Reading for pile number 1 messed me up. And so I had to take some time to really ground, clear my energy out, eat some food, drink some water. And so usually how my readings go, my reaction to the previous pile definitely has a impact on the next reading. And so for y'all, I feel like what is really the root of your obsession is lack of self-care. Immediately, lack of grounding. This whole morning, I had not really prioritized taking care of myself. I didn't do my usual morning routine. I slept in, wasn't feeling it, and I definitely feel for you guys, group number 2, a lot of where you're fixated on either a person on social media. A lot of it's coming from just something rooted in why you can't take care of yourself. Honestly, I think that the obsession is just a symptom of something bigger. Again, when I'm also seeing her bones and whatnot, maybe you guys are feeling a little dead on the inside. You're kind of struggling with your mental health, but you're trying. You know, I see you guys, you're putting your makeup on, you're going out there and looking good, but really something deeply in your emotional side of things is kind of been uprooted. And so you're sort of just living a little bit in a slightly distorted reality simply because you can't stop. It's almost like the obsessive thinking is how you're staying grounded instead of actually using the ground to ground, if that makes any sense. Anyways, if that doesn't resonate with you, you might want to check another pile, or this might also not be the message for you. We're going to go ahead and get into the cards and see what's going on here and what's causing your obsession, group number 2. We have the Hanged Man upright. You have the Fool. And you have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so I want to start with this Fool card, where there's a song in my head right now called Angry Young Man by Styx. They're like an older band from the 80s. And I'm hearing like, you're fooling yourself, you don't believe it. Like, there's something about... Yeah, I'm hearing like, why must you be such an angry young man when your future looks quite bright to me? Yeah, sorry, excuse the crappy singing, but there's something about you're just having a hard time coping with your reality, and specifically Spirit's asking you to get back into the whimsy of day-to-day. Like, look at this skeleton happily gazing at this butterfly, okay? Like, that butterfly, it doesn't provide any value to your life. It doesn't do anything other than exist. And it looks kind of pretty, and it brightens your day. That's kind of what... I'm sorry, even just, like, saying that out loud feels so detached from reality. I'm sitting here just like, what the fuck do you mean? It's a butterfly. You can just be like, oh, hey, look, something happy and bright happened. But you guys are, again, with this death energy. Maybe you're trying to come out of like a self-obsessed phase, or there's some kind of like transmutation energy of like a version of you fundamentally died. Okay, so maybe there's a lot of death energy in your family. Maybe you went through something very traumatic in the past. And that's what your obsession kind of is being dead. And kind of being like, yeah, I'm just a hollow shell. I'm an infographic. I'm a billboard when there's nothing behind it. Oh, I feel so bad for you guys. I don't know, because it's like, even though this is a skeleton, there's still a person behind it. I think there's like another layer to you that you're not as obsessed with that's kind of a little frustrating to your spirit guide team. Or maybe it's me. But I'm kind of like, I know you're trying to keep up this image of like, I'm cool and edgy, I'm dead on the inside, whatever. But like, honestly, there's a lot of life to you. I mean, like, girl, look at these hips. Look at these hips on this mermaid, okay? You've got life in you. Come on. Come on, those curves don't lie. There is plenty of life living in that booty, okay? With the hanged man, you gotta change your perspective. You know what I mean? It's like you've got fingies, phalanges that are moving. Maybe you guys are really into the sciences and biology, but there's something about you that I'm like, bro, come on, you're not skin and bones. You're not just a meat suit running around. Come on, where's your spark? I know when you were a kid, when you got super happy whenever it was snack time. Man, have y'all ever worked at like a vacation Bible school or preschool or anything with small children running around? Oh my god. Alright. Like, the way children will go ape shit for story time, snack time, recess, that's what y'all gotta bring back into your life. Because you got it inside of you. And maybe that's why you're feeling dead, is because you think being an adult means that you have to just kick that little kid and tell it to sit down and shut up and watch TV. Maybe you had inattentive parents that were just like, hey, here, have a cell phone. Hey, here, have an iPad. And you can't attach. Maybe that's why you're attached to social media. I might have a younger crowd here that has a social media addiction. Or maybe you have an addiction to tarot readings or whatever. But this feels more so a social media, like, hey, I can't unplug because there's nothing else left of my life anymore. I can't go outside because I have a disability, or maybe there's something going on, you know? But the point is that you guys have so much more for you and what's in store for you than you have any idea. Like, that's why Spirit, like, oh my god, like, all of a sudden I'm feeling like super energy charged. Because Spirit is genuinely like, guys, you're young. And you don't even have to be young, but there's so much more energy inside of you. There's so much more life to live. There's so much more ways that you can grow and shine. Look at all the art you could make and share. You don't have to be addicted to social media anymore, guys, because going outside, maybe you gotta tell a couple people to fuck off, but honestly, learn a couple good coping mechanisms. Because I promise you, being outside is not that scary. I know things are dark out there, but goddammit, like, you need the sun. You need to use your eyes. Your eyes are meant for seeing things. Not what's on the screen, okay? Hell, like, yeah, that's where I feel like this obsession is. There's something with, like, the eyes. I don't think you guys are realizing that looking at screens affects your psyche. And how it's causing also this addiction and memory issues and whatever. Like, you need to be out in a 3D reality, guys, instead of a 2D face. Instead of a 2D interface, okay? Like, that's where the obsession is, because you're literally kind of, I don't know if you guys maybe struggle with psychosis sometimes or whatever, but it genuinely feels like you can't touch grass. Not because you don't want to go outside, and maybe you kind of don't at this point because you're like, ew, people. And that's fine. You can say ew, people. But what I am saying, though, is y'all gotta start finding ways of integrating the 3D reality into your life day to day. With this Page of Pentacles, I'm seeing you guys, maybe you're saving up money for a rainy day, but then the rainy day comes and you don't spend it. Or you overspend. There's definitely like an imbalancing energy here of just like, I just want to live numbed out and checked out. When really a piece of you is saying, I want to be free. I'm a goddamn mermaid. Shit, I should be rolling in the ocean. You're like, I know, but I don't have the money. I save up $5 from my paycheck each week so I can go get my nails and my hair done. Be like, go to the beach, damn it, don't pay your bills. You gotta do it at least once in your life, okay? And you're like, I can't be irresponsible. I'm like, everyone else seems to be. What, you can't get in trouble one time? I can't afford to do this. Well, there's gonna be a point in your life when you realize if you're always stuck here, when are you gonna start saying fuck it? We can't always control how much money we have coming towards us, okay? Some people do, but the game is also kind of rigged. So you know what? If you've been working at that barbecue joint for 10 years, you're not going to see any more money than what you're already doing right now. So why not live for today? Seriously. Y'all gotta start saying fuck it more and start getting your energy back. And then, who knows, maybe when you start saying fuck it, you come back from your vacation and you're saying like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what we gotta do for this recipe. And then the restaurant blows up, right? But again, everybody's different. And I don't want to sell you this whole, I'm going to manifest my dreams in abundance when not everybody's path and style is going to be like that. Okay? Some of you guys, you're meant to live free. Because people don't talk about when it comes to wealth, money, and fame and experience and all this other shit. Like, experiences have way more value than anything you can buy. And I want you guys to really appreciate that, because there's plenty of wealthy, successful people that I've met that this pile group number 2, the family you have around you, the memories you have, those are way more important than whatever those fucks are doing. Okay? So start resisting a bit and bring those fucks back down to reality. Okay? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys are also like really sick of being poor and it's not your fault. You know what I mean? And I totally understand you and I hear you. And that's why I'm saying again, live for today. And also too, I know you want to make your makeup and your hair real pretty and that's nice. Do that as your self-care, but also understand that, you know what, if you can't get your hair and your nails done, if you can't go in and go to the body shop, oh my god, what the fuck? The body shop? What? I don't know why I just said that, but I'm keeping it. But what I'm saying is, you guys gotta learn to let your hair down and say, actually, you know what? I'm still pretty hot. I still got that booty. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of one of my friends. And I'm sitting here going like, girl, like, I mean, yes, you are very attractive when you dress up. But I'm just saying, you still got it. Even in your sweatpants. And I'm just saying, okay, I'm just saying. Okay, anyways, we're gonna move on. We got the sun is shining and so are you. Yeah! Oh my gosh, I'm feeling the sun. Yeah, the sun feels really significant here. Maybe you guys live in an area that's a little cold and darker. I don't think so for a majority of you, but like, look at how much bright yellow energy, look at how much bright yellow colors are going on here. I said energy earlier, but it's like, yeah, there's a lot of light and life to you guys. I understand bad things happen, but this is exactly when you say, hey, you know what? This isn't fat on these hips. These are emotions. These are experiences. This is life, right? And I'm gonna use it to make sure that I'm having a damn good time, no matter what anyone else says. And again, like, to me, I think the fact that you guys have gone through so much, there's been so much generational trauma for this pile, and the fact that you're still out there looking good, you're still out there being amazing, you're being good friends, you have aspirations and dreams, you're still making art, you're still speaking your language, you're still doing the things that you want to do. Fuck them. Seriously. La Serena. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I don't know. If someone else did it, would you still allow it? Some of y'all, and I'm speaking to you, some of y'all, you think because you see someone on the social media doing something that you want to do that you can't do it. Because, well, she's more attractive. She comes from that family. She does this. Would you still allow that person into your house if they treated you like shit? No. Absolutely the hell not. Then suddenly go, oh, no, you're not made of the same quality as I am. I don't have to look like you to know what I'm made of. I don't have to judge you based off of your choices. All I gotta do is sit my little happy ass down, play some music and enjoy the day, and allow myself to enjoy my day. You guys have to allow yourself to feel the sun. Just because you're laying in it, you could take it as I'm being baked alive and incinerated by God's creation. Or you could say, hey, I'm going to take in all that vitamin D. I'm going to take that warmth then. And say, hey, I still need the sun to sustain me. And even if you're a night owl, they have plenty of studies to show how much it fucks up your head when you don't have enough access to sunlight or light in general. And so again, I'm saying, like, if someone else did it, would you allow it? Look at someone else that you think of growing up in your life that you were like, wow, that person is so talented, amazing, and beautiful. I'm hearing the word skinny. I don't know. There's just something about this pile that, like, you think when you see that person that didn't meet their potential, or you think you're not like that person. When you are! You are! It doesn't matter what you look like. And I know people who are like, oh, yes it is, yes it is. And I'll be like, there's still a piece of you for everybody. I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all, not everybody is into the whole skinny mini princess thing. Okay? That is a giant ass lie, and there might be a wound here in this particular pile, because, like, curves keep coming out, but I'm just sitting there going, like, I love curves. A lot of men love curves. Okay? I am not a curvy person, but I am quite skinny, in fact. And I can tell you the fact that, yes, a lot of people put this body type on a pedestal, but you know what also I gotta deal with? I gotta deal with being cold all the time, getting pushed around. People projecting this idea that life is easier when it's not. Yeah. There's eating disorder, there's dysfunction, all of this stuff. It's like, it's based in insecurity. Yeah, so getting back to, like, the obsession energy, this could also be, maybe you guys struggle with obsession over appearances. And so you see that being projected onto you. And so you're like, oh my gosh, I see this Instagram model and she's so gorgeous. There's filters! There's surgery! There's makeup! I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of women on social media do not look like they do in real life. And even if they look a certain kind of way, look at the vibes. Look at the vibes. Do you really want to be pretty and have no soul as a result? No. There's nothing pretty about not having a soul. About doing all this work on your appearance to work out and be thin and in shape, and then you hate it the whole time. Because I'm sorry, if you've got a mom who makes really good food, and you're sitting there going like, no, I can't have mom's food because I'm trying to get back in shape. I'm going to tell you right now, mom's food is way better for your soul than any of the shit that you're consuming with this, like, health shit. And again, you could say, like, well, she uses a lot of butter and unhealthy stuff. And I'm like, I know. But the point is feed your soul, guys. Feed your soul, your mind and your spirit, not the superficial stuff. Do some financial investments. Yeah! So again, with this obsession, right, maybe, like I said, with you being insecure about money, there's literature and things out there that you can do to help you with your financial situation. I know it constantly feels like money's, like, coming and going through your fingers, but you can allow the abundance to settle where it needs to. Okay? And so I'm not saying, like, this pile, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to be millionaires, but what I can tell you is if you learn basic financial literacy, it will help you so much on your healing journey with money and all this other stuff. Again, because when it comes to wealth, I'm going to tell you there's a lot of confusion and illusion about wealth and money. There's a lot of fitness people that they are not as fit as they actually are saying they are. Just because they look a certain kind of way. There is a lot of putting illusion on pedestal right now that's going to get knocked the hell down. And especially like when it comes to money and lifestyle, just because someone's got something that looks good does not mean it's making money. Okay? I'm just telling you right now, start talking to financial advisors. If you notice all of the super wealthy people, they're not as flashy as what you see on social media. And you're like, well, I want the lifestyle. Do you want a lifestyle built on disillusionment and unhappiness? Or do you want a lifestyle that actually brings in money? You have security. You have love. You have compassion. You have your health. Maybe if you're younger right now, in your 20s and younger maybe, understand that your priorities are going to change when you get older. And all of the disillusionment of that lifestyle is going to fall away. And you're really going to see who your friends and family are when things fall apart. When life gets real. And you're no longer having an image to hold you up. Because I'm going to tell you, when your body starts hurting, when the lip filler starts making you feel ugly anyway, when all of the stuff you tried injecting into you didn't work, that's when you're gonna start getting real with yourself. And again, you already got it in them hips. Okay, I wasn't raised knowing how to handle this. Yeah, some of y'all, like I said, with the social media addiction and obsession, some of you guys are coping with the fact that your parents weren't present. They couldn't handle having children. Maybe they weren't supposed to have children. Maybe they were pressured into it. Society told them this is what I need to do, and they weren't equipped for it. Some of that's not their fault, guys. But now you have the responsibility of owning your life and challenging these paradigms and saying, I'm going to raise me. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for giving me life. Thank you for giving me these experiences. Because every single experience that you've given me, I'm going to transform into something better in my life. I'm going to learn this is how I don't want to be. This is who I want to be. And I'm going to go find people who can give me the skills to take care of me. Because they're out there, guys. Again, for this pile, if you guys were abandoned by family, if you were let down by a lot of people, if you, grew up and suddenly realized, wow, I am really disadvantaged, I want you to understand, put your hand on your heart and say, it's not my fault, but I can be better, and I can grow up to be who I need to be now. I'm here for me now. You can be that adult that little you needed. Okay? Would you allow it? Just because your parents allowed it does not mean that it needs to be your fate too. Would you allow it? Would you still allow it if it happened to your family member or your best friend? If you wouldn't put up with something happening to your best friend or your sibling or your family member, then why are you letting it happen to you? Don't go that route, guys. For legal reasons, I suggest you shut the fuck up. Yeah, so some of you guys, again, you don't need to announce your privileges to the world. Who gives a fuck? Alright? Shut the fuck up and start to move. Make moves in silence. Make that bag, and don't tell anybody about it. Not until you're secure in you. And then, watch yourself start popping off. Go be a surprise. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm not dead, and I'm coming back bigger and better than ever. And you can take all those little tears about you saying I was whatever, and you can keep them as your lesson, as you gave me lessons equally in exchange. Boom, that's how it works, guys. All right, we've got racing, running, avoiding, offer, and twin flames, the mirrored one pledged. Yeah, okay, so back to the obsession, guys. Especially if you're obsessed with this whole twin flame journey, just turn off the TV right now. You already know the reading kind of covered a lot of this, but specifically if you're obsessed with like the twin flame readings, the whole romanticism thing, we can already see that there's a theme of lack of self-care that needs to be addressed regardless of what your spiritual relationships look like. With the word illustrated, I'm feeling like there's something about maybe you got to express yourself a little more creatively, but there's something still being written and weaved into your life right now that you're not going to be able to make a determination on what is spiritual and what's your emotions and what is disillusionment. Okay? Yeah, I think like just really unpacking that disillusionment is really going to help you with identifying with your spiritual connections and romantic relationships. With offer, again, with this obsession, you're always looking for like, is someone going to be holding a cup out to me? What is out there? What is out there? But like, I'm just seeing a bunch of people with solo cups. When you want wine, you want the good. You want the stuff that actually keeps you filled. And you're not going to know what that offer even looks like to you when you got all this other nasty stuff going on. When you got all this other energy that's blocking you and all that obsession. And then with running and avoiding, yeah, I think that's a great way to sum up the message today. Because when you're running, at some point you got to slow down. You're going to have to face it eventually. So, don't project. Level up. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you're interested in booking a message, or if you're interested in booking me for a reading, links are in the description down below. And also check out my blog for professional resources in case you're struggling with your mental health or insecurities of any social insecurities of any kind. And yeah, check out my blog because I've got different articles about mental health and spirituality and whatnot. And finally, please make sure that you once again check out Illustrated Ink by Leila. Follow her social medias and follow my social medias too with mindovermania on Instagram. Anyways, y'all, I will see you next time. Take care. Hello, everyone. You have chosen group number 3 with La Carza, and these are going to be your messages on what's causing your obsession. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm feeling like you guys have a lot of anxiety or you struggle with anxiousness. Maybe you have OCD or there's just PTSD. There's just all the D's going on here. And I feel like making sure you're breathing is going to be a huge reason why you're not able to ground as much. Because literally I was thinking about getting ready for this message and I'm just like, hold on. You have 24 hours today. You have 24 hours tomorrow, and it's the same every single day. Relax. You can't, like, Rome is not built in a day, and all the things that you are trying to accomplish will and can get done if you take some time to relax and prioritize a little bit. And also, not trying to do everything yourself. Yeah, those are kind of the themes going on here. Another thing that when I was pulling your card, I was having a little bit of back and forth indecision energy with selecting cards, because usually I'm like, oh, it's this one, this one, this one, and this one and when I was pulling your cards, I just found myself constantly being like, oh, is it this one? I'm not normally like that. And then this one came out separately. So I feel like maybe you guys enmeshed or entangled in something else that doesn't belong to you. So please make sure you're clearing your energy out, especially if you're doing spiritual work, taking the time to take your spiritual baths, meditating, going out in nature. Again, breathing, going and being outside. I think that's going to be really important for you guys, especially like, I don't know what this energy is, but we're going to explore it after we look at your cards. So, anyways, you've got the Queen of Pentacles. Ooh, some of y'all are climbing the corporate ladder. Interesting. We got some hustlers in this pile number. We got some hustlers in this pile. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It wants to be upright, but Spirit's telling me no. Nope, you're stuck in a reverse state, so that's interesting. And then you got Santa Muerte. Okay. Okay. We have robotic. Secretive. Ooh. Cowardly. Focused. Oh my gosh. There's some intense watching energy with y'all. Some of y'all may be Scorpios in your astrology sign, which is super funny because even though we have the Scorpio group, I was like, this pile's got a couple of y'all too. We've got everybody's watching us. Does that bother you? Ooh, there's some intrigue. Trauma doesn't define you. What you do speaks louder. If I'm blinded by love, that's okay. I'll let you lead the way. I won't turn astray. Ooh. All right, we're gonna cover up that right there. And then life is so beautiful and amazing. Embrace it. Aww. You guys got some really positive cards. So right off the bat, with what's causing your obsession, my eyes are getting drawn to this crane. Okay, and there's some kind of obsession with delicate, graceful energy. All right, there's something about providing or provisions. That word's standing out to me. Yeah, there's something about the energy that I'm picking up on your pile is like not your reality, if that makes any sense. Because I'm looking at all these cards, and at first when the energy was starting off a certain way, I was like, oh, okay, but then I'm like, something doesn't feel right. Okay, so what's causing your obsession is like maybe you really like beautiful things. Maybe you're obsessed with the idea of everything being perfect or ideal, right? You love angelic type people. You love maybe angels. Maybe you like whimsy and air. Again, I feel like air, if you're into astrology and stuff like that, air energy is definitely coming through here where it's very like fleeting moments, but also it carries you a long way. With the I'm blinded by love, that's okay. I'll let you lead the way. I feel like there's an obsession with being completely and totally surrendering almost to a detriment, right? But it's romanticized. So I can definitely feel like there's some romantic obsession here, but I think this is just, again, an obsession that turns toxic really, really quickly. And there's not an acknowledgement for the other angle and aspect of this. With focused, with the eyes, yeah, this pile, maybe you're obsessed with beautiful, attractive women. Because, like, I'm seeing this eye. At first, when I picked up the card, I was like, normally this card can make me feel very unnerving. Because with eyes that are intensely watching. For you guys, though, pile number 3, I think, like, maybe you guys, when you see beautiful women, you just immediately soften. Or, like, eyes for you. Yeah, what's causing your obsession is you're not actually obsessed, I think, with women. Or, like, for pregnancy, maybe you guys really like to idealize getting someone pregnant or babies being pregnant. Yeah, you guys are ambitious and have goals. I don't know why turtles are significant. I don't know. There's something weird. It's almost like the shoe's about to drop with this pile. Yeah. For some reason with like this card, I'm seeing this guy getting buried by his money. And it just kind of feels like there's this disillusionment to underlying this obsession. Because it's like with the crane, it's almost like you want to put... No, you don't want to put the bird in the cage. You want the bird to be out in the environment because that's what's natural to them. But there's this disillusionment of what's natural. So, for example, obviously when you're looking at this crane, we know that cranes in general don't have flowers on them and painted on them. But that's kind of the illusion that you guys, or this pile, doesn't seem to understand, that just because you see something that's beautiful doesn't mean that that's its reality. Yeah. I'm getting like perpetrator victim energy. So for example, like with this crane, you know, we all know that most cranes have like white feathers, or they can come like grays and blues, browns. Um, and so to y'all, it almost feels like when you see a crane like this, if you ever saw it, you'd want to just completely exclude everything else, because you're like, this is ideal. This is perfection. And other people would want to capture this bird, but you're like, no, 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 no. It's got to be in the lake, but I don't want there to be other birds in the lake ruining the vibes. And that's where that toxicity underneath, with cowardly, secretive, and robotic, there's a detachment from understanding why grace and beauty make you feel fulfilled. With blinded, I feel like you guys get blinded by the lights a lot. So for example, if a very attractive person comes up to meet you, you immediately assume that they're wealthy, that they have confidence, that they have good intentions. Some of you, others of you, you're not like that. But with cowardly, there's something about when you see this, it highlights an insecurity in yourself. It evokes an emotion that you are afraid of, that you can't see what you possess inwards, right? Because the thing is with cranes, like, cranes are not birds of prey. They eat frogs and fish and algae and other stuff. And it's this image of grace that, you know, I'm almost feeling like, you know, when you look at a crane, like, it looks like their legs are going to break. And so you're almost like, wow, how could a bird be so kind of awkward but elegant? And you want to emulate that, but you can't, because you're not a crane, right? And so, like, thinking of, again, the scorpionic energy that's in this pile, that's not, like, it's kind of hidden under the surface, because in the other pile, like pile number 1, Scorpio, that was so chaotic and distorted. I was like, holy cow. So if you felt drawn to also pile number 1, go check that out, but like, that was insane. With scorpions, I mean, they're known to be a little ugly and creepy. And maybe you're the scorpion, but you want to be like a crane. You're sitting there being like, I'm just an ugly ass scorpion. Everybody hates me. All I'm known for is poisoning people and killing people. I'm crawling around in the dirt. And I don't like anybody, and nobody likes me. And I don't like anybody because, like, this crane person, this ideal, they look good. And that makes me feel comforted by that. With everybody's watching us, does that bother you? Yeah, there's something about, I don't think this pile recognizes their worth. And that's what's causing you to obsess over attractive people, or this idea of perfectionism, because you are so concerned about what everyone else thinks and feels. And to me, like, again, if you are not a crane, that doesn't mean you don't have gifts. Literally go check out pile number 1, because, like, that whole scorpion thing, I was talking about how the scorpion needed to accept the fact that, yeah, you're getting attacked by people on all sides, but if you were made as who you are, then that's who you are. If God made you a certain kind of way, then that's it. And instead of trying to say, like, well, one animal is better than the other or whatever, why aren't you acknowledging the fact that maybe you're a different kind of scorpion? So in the image, actually, I'm going to go and bring this up now. You guys, pile number 3, you are like this scorpion, right? Where, look at the intricate details on the back of the scorpion. However, if you're the scorpion, you can't see your back unless someone holds up a mirror to you. If you knew that you were like this scorpion, that actually you're not like the other scorpions out there. In fact, you've got a beautiful pattern. You're not ugly. There's nothing wrong with you. for being a scorpion. That doesn't make you a bad person. You're just a different species and has a different way of existing. You play a different role in the ecosystem. That's natural. And you don't need to project onto the crane person that there's something wrong with you because they exist. Okay? Again, scorpions are predators. We don't like to admit in society that there are predatory people out there. Every aspect of humanity has evolved to play a role. When it comes to working with our shadows and our inner demons, we don't like looking at them. For a reason, because they're scary, they're toxic, they're all this stuff with secretive. You guys keep a lot of secrets from people. There's all kinds of nasty gunk you don't want to share with people about how you actually truly feel. But if you don't face those, then you're never going to look like that crane person. You're never going to look at how both of you guys have flowers painted on your bodies. That's why you love this crane person so much. That's why you love the image of the crane. Because they're reflecting who you are back to you. Because you're blinded. You're blinded by this person's brilliance. You're blinded by the things that other people worship because you're not seeing it in yourself. It's so hard to see your own beauty and gifts when there's no mirror around. So hard. And again, you don't have to be conventionally attractive. But you're so focused on what other people are doing because you're afraid. Maybe again, because if you are, we'll do this metaphor. Say you are the scorpion. And you're like, well, people hate scorpions. Okay. But there's also a lot of people who do like scorpions. There's a band called Scorpions. There's a zodiac sign that is about a scorpion. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that can see a scorpion for what it is. And I actually think it's pretty cool. And it's pretty neat. And so when you're able to balance out these different aspects of yourself, reduce the shame, heal things. I'm seeing with like the pregnant belly, there could also have been, I'm feeling like there also could have been like birthing complications or whatever that could have impacted who you are. Maybe you guys lost a child, your parents lost a child. There's just something about like you're wasting time over something that's dead and gone and buried, and you're carrying it in your stomach, you're carrying it in your body, believing it's yours when it's not yours. Okay? That's why like clearing your energy out's gonna be super important, because again, with life is so beautiful, like, it's not like when I go outside and I see the sunshine, I'm sitting there going, man, you know, it's a beautiful day, but the fact that scorpions exist, I just can't enjoy my day. Do you see how silly that sounds? It's a bug. Sorry. It's an insect. It's a creature that, unless it's coming up to me and trying to hurt me, it's not going to ruin my day knowing that it's out there because it's not impacting me. So why would... I'm not going to say, I'm not going into work today because there are scorpions. Well, you're not going to encounter a scorpion at work. Well, they exist out there, so we need to get rid of them. They're a part of the ecosystem, just like everything else. And, like, do you see how silly that is? Like, do you really think my boss would say, hey, that's okay, I know scorpions exist, so you can't come in? No! No! And that's where... Again, maybe you are not acknowledging the shadow aspect of this. Again, yeah, check out pile number 1, because I think pile number 1 is representing the overarching theme of the illusion that you're fighting with. Right? And then, like, trauma doesn't define you, what you do speaks louder. I think that is the overarching theme. It's like, again, scorpions are predators. Scorpions look cool, but they also are kind of creepy. At the end of the day, what a scorpion chooses to do in nature is part of what it is. Anything outside of that is a choice. And so just because you're a little different because of your traumas, the things that you can't talk about, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you don't have choices. It doesn't make you a coward for hiding and keeping those things close to your chest because you don't know how to deal with them. But that's also where you work with a professional. So here's our PSA talking about therapy and trauma therapy treatment. Please talk to a mental health professional. Like, the thing is too, though, guys, is like, I think because you're afraid of aspects of yourself that you can't share with others, or again, maybe you're kind of the crane person but secretly the scorpion, you turn into a robot. You don't live your life because you're afraid of a piece of yourself that you're blind to. There's no balance here. Again, like with the money thing, like maybe you feel overwhelmed and burdened by money, even if you have it and have access to it. It's just a weight on you because, like, again, you're putting superficial things on a pedestal so you can remain robotic because you don't know how to handle when you're feeling weak and vulnerable, when you're feeling aggressive, when you get obsessed. But there's something about, again, that feminine energy. You're obsessed with it because you need it in yourself. So again, regardless of if you're a man, woman, somewhere in between, whatever, this pile, you have to embrace your soft aspects of yourself. Embrace art. Embrace going to a massage therapist and feeling something that's relaxing to you. Take down the harshness. It's cold outside. Are you going to sit inside and be cold just so that way you can, like, tough out the pain and whatever? There's a certain point where it's like there's a reason why it feels good. Because guess what? As much as being tough and getting things out there, that also kills you faster. I'm just saying. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But at the end of the day, there's a huge difference between developing grit and self-harm. And I think when you stop blinding yourself from the beautiful aspects of who you are as a spectrum person, it's going to hurt a lot when you realize what's been done to you. But again, fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can love this crane person without the idealization and the obsession. Okay? I know that it's hard to break obsession patterns and obsessive patterns. But again, you can't acknowledge your obsessive tendencies until you address why it hurts so much to be you. And it's a whole lot easier to obsess over somebody that exists on the other side of the pond. That, again, cranes are beautiful. They are part of their own ecosystem. And cranes, people aren't running around trying to kill cranes as opposed to trying to kill scorpions. But that doesn't mean a scorpion's running around trying to overthrow humanity. You know what I mean? Like, we're not overrun by scorpions. There's just enough scorpions as there needs to be. You can very easily just scare one off, and then it goes away. But I think because of this energy back and forth, that you have to be either with this kind of person or like that kind of person, you can't grow or heal as yourself. It's like trying to pretend like you're a different species than what you are. You have different needs. You have different goals. You have different vibes. And yeah, you're going to be angry because your authentic self is authentically hated by these other people. And it doesn't really matter if you're hated or not, because your spirit guide loves you, and all the people that are supposed to love you authentically already kind of do. And To me, why would a scorpion try to hang out with cranes when they're just going to eat each other anyway? If you're going to be constantly fighting with people. You all need to go back there, guys. Liberate yourselves. And stay firm in who you are. Pray about it. Seeing something about the moon, too. I don't know, maybe that's significant for you guys. Lunar cycles, but yeah. It's okay, because right now, you're in the process of transforming into something much more powerful. Again, maybe you were a normal scorpion, but you're turning into this. Maybe you got yourself a new tattoo, like I did. But now, you're becoming extraordinary. And when you do, that's when you're not going to be blind anymore. To all the great, amazing things that you're capable of. To all the beauty in life and the good and the bad and everything. And things are not going to be as painful anymore. And again, with this cowardly energy, maybe you were a coward in the past, but I can tell you deep down you're not. Because you're a fucking scorpion. Like, would you ever say a scorpion's cowardly? No. Why would it need to be? You know? And that's kind of how you need to be, y'all. Again, quit pretending like you have to hide for people. People don't know who and what you are until you start showing them. And I don't know. I still think you're pretty great. Even if you're maybe a little bit of an ugly bug. Alright, so let's get this card about what maybe you're entangled with as well. And it might have to do with this crane person. So let's go ahead and see what the card you got was. Distant. Aww. Oh, are you guys in love? Oh my god, this is like some weird interspecies shit. Oh no. Oh god, I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Okay. Focus. Damn. Maybe are you attracted to somebody you're not supposed to be? Or what everyone's telling you not be? The scorpion's in love with the crane. Oh shit. Okay. Alright, I think y'all want to know, so I want to know. I'm gonna pull some cards. No, let's talk about this for a second. Okay, this is gonna be a little bit longer, guys. I apologize, but you know what? Stick around if you want this, because this tea is piping. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on between you and your crane person, group number 3. We've got shh. Are you? Oh my gosh, this is held so close to your chest, group number 3. Like, I don't think people know. Because again, like, scorpions, I mean, like, they hide in underground. And, like, with distant, again, I keep hearing, like, well, you're projecting something onto this crane person, but, like, how do you know this crane doesn't like scorpions? There's, like, shh. Yeah, I kind of see, it's your spirit guide team being like, shh, hey, we're gonna show you that in all the animal kingdom, sometimes when two people are painted with the same colorings, you can come from different backgrounds and still make it work. I was gonna say, look at how cool they look. You know, there's a lot of death energy going on here, but it's so cool. It's so bright and cheery. Okay, I'm gonna put your little scorpion friend here, because he wants to sit next to the crane. Okay, yeah, there's something about, like, you're like, that's, like, kind of my other half, and I'm kind of secretly obsessed with them. Karza. I don't know what, I mean, I'm assuming it means crane, but, like, I don't know. Let's keep going with the cards. I want to put my head on your chest and hear your heartbeat. Respect the feminine. Politics are overrated. Aww. Are you, like, in love with somebody that doesn't have the same political beliefs as you? Oh no. Is this one of those, like, I'm a closeted Republican because I know liberal women hate them. Oh shit. Okay. Oh no. This is so adorable. Respect the feminine. Yeah. Okay, so I definitely have other videos um that kind of help with the masculine side of like undoing like kind of patriarchal vibes with like for example that idealization. So for example like with the crane person, right? Just because they're a crane does not mean they are the epitome of virginity and purity or whatever. Like cranes also like throw up and do and make bird poop everywhere. I'm pretty sure that scorpions don't poop as much as cranes do. Okay. But it's like one of those things where like you're not thinking about that though. You're like, oh well, the crane is such a beautiful symbol for blah 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 and all this other stuff. And it's like you could just go talk to the crane person and find out that actually they're just a bird. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, you're admiring the beauty of this other person instead of being like, hey, um, that person has stomach problems, or that person has digestive problems, or weird quirky things, and I don't know, sometimes birds fly into windows. I don't know. There's just something about, like, the distance between you and this person is also preventing you from realizing what they're actually like. So say, for example, maybe you've got a crush on a pretty girl at work, and you see her with her friends, and you think, like, oh my gosh, all women are like, or this beautiful girl is at home frolicking with her friends and, like, making herself look gorgeous every single day, doing her beauty and makeup routine and blah, 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 blah. Then you actually, like, go over and spend the night at her house. And she's, like, drooling on her pillow. She actually can't cook to save her life. All of the Instagram photos or whatever, that's meals her sibling makes. And she actually burns toast. Right? Or maybe she's got holes in her socks. And she likes those holes in her socks, mind you. Is someone calling me out? Is someone gonna make fun of me for my hole-filled socks? Oh my god. Alright, whatever. Anyways. Ignore me. With the yeah, like there's kind of something just like because you're just observing the crane in nature, you're not actually interacting with it. So then when it flies away, you get all depressed, but like you're not actually experiencing life with that person. With politics are overrated, like maybe you dismiss this person's politics again because you are idealizing what they look like. So say for example, maybe you aren't compatible. Maybe you're like, hey, we're very similar, but like, I'm sorry, I can't be with a person that believes in XYZ. Maybe you gotta split that out and sort that out. I want to put my head on your chest and hear your heartbeat, though. That's so intimate. Again, maybe you just want to be with a crane, but you don't have to be with this crane. Just because that one's super shiny and special, maybe that's not your person, but you still want to be with a crane, then go find another crane. And you're like, but it's not the same because they're not shiny and special. And the difference is, like me, maybe if this crane person saw that you also have patterns, then they'd go, oh, you are just like me. Maybe we're not so different. Just some food for thought. Okay, we also got manipulation. Ooh, fall's coming in, so more of that Scorpio energy. We've got entrapment, pregnancy, money, heartstrings. Oh god. And foolish. Some of you lover boys. This dude's smoking and probably writing songs. I'm like, I'm here without you, baby. But you're still with me in my dreams. A dream. I think about you, baby. Oh my god. Yeah, with entrapment, baby trapping. Yeah, again, like there's this energy of focusing on like babies. Like, bro, you gotta guy or girl. I don't know who this is, but it's like so say for example, maybe you're the crane person and you're seeing the scorpion person, and like, you don't want to get baby trapped by the wrong scorpion, okay? You want to make sure you find a scorpion that's actually wearing your same patterns, okay? Like, you don't want to get baby trapped with that stink. Oh my god. Maybe you guys got baby trapped by someone who were like, I thought that scorpion was like the same colored painting as me. That was just a normal, like, scorpion. Are you colorblind? I don't know. Maybe your beak got in the way. I don't know. But there's a lot of this. I've got other readings to unpack this shit. But yeah, okay. Yeah, you're gonna find your person. Just look for the patterns. Okay? Hey, that's actually kind of really great, because when you look at people's patterns of how they treat other people, that and treat you, that is actually like a really good analogy. Anyways, though, y'all, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this reading. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if you enjoyed it. If you would like to book a reading with me, links are in the description down below. And also check out my website, where I have links to mental health professionals, organizations, social work things. Yeah, in case you are dealing with stuff. And then I also have a blog. Check that out. There's posts on there and whatnot. And yeah, make sure you also check out Illustrated Ink by Leila on Etsy. Yeah, she's a really cool cat, so make sure you check out her stuff and follow both of us on the social medias. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye. Mwah. 100 days that make me older, since the last time that I saw your pretty face. Hello everyone, you have chosen pile number 4, and these are going to be your messages on what is causing my obsession. Okay, so right before recording this pile, sorry, I'm still hyped from the last pile and their reading, and I was singing Here Without You by Three Doors Down, and I realized that I can't play the song on the video because then it would get a copyright flag, and I was immediately like, okay, I need to sit and just sing the song, I'm here without you, baby, and like a very obnoxious voice, and just do this whole bit, because I know that this pile is obsessed with heartbreak, okay? We all know! So we're gonna go on this journey together, because I'm extra hyped, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, y'all, like, you guys, your obsession is kind of dramatic. Oh my god, I didn't even notice this. So, this deer has, like, little red tears. It's like it's crying blood, but it literally looks like it's crying. What the hell? I didn't even think of that. Yeah, again, I do this all whimsically as I go, because it's channeled, it's intuitive, so I don't really notice this. Maybe this person's a deer hunter. That was kind of weird. Maybe they like nature and whatnot, or they hunt, or his name is Hunter? I don't know. There's something interesting about this vibe, because it's very much like you guys are just heartbroken. And that's kind of the root of what's going on here, of you being obsessed with this person. Okay, we've got the Queen of Swords. Ooh! Ooh! Someone got betrayed. There was a backstab. Okay, I can't even look at the other cards right now, because I'm like, look at this woman with this sword. She's just casually popping her booty out. She's got her sword on her back, and she's like, listen, I stabbed that mofo, and I'm gonna do it again. Oh my gosh. Y'all, okay. And even if you didn't metaphorically stab this person, I know you wanna, for what this person did to you. Or maybe your sister does. I don't know. Maybe you guys are, like, very sweet, and I'm just the angry older sibling that'll be like, what did you do to my younger sister? I will show up at your house and give you a very firm warning. And they'd be like, oh, I thought you were here to hurt me. And I was like, no, I don't do that. But, like, I will make sure that all of your posterity and everyone in the neighborhood knows how much of a piece of shit you are. Like, there's just like this, this very like aggressive tone. Like, what did this person do? I'm also thinking of the band Set It Off, where they had a song called Wolf in Sheep's Clothing that is like very excessively like, what did this person do to warrant this wrath? And it probably was justified from what I'm seeing. And I think that maybe the root of the obsession here is what caused either the breakup, and it doesn't even have to be like the breakup itself. It feels like whatever in your heart, the moment that loss just broke, you open and the relationship was over, you're kind of like, okay, it's hunting season. Oh my god, that explains the hunter energy, because I was sitting there like, this kind of obsession, there's the pile, or there's the group that's just obsessed with heartbreak, but there's also this element of like, I'm not acknowledging the fact that it's now open season for douchebags. Okay, I can only take what resonates, because I'm just like, maybe I'm also reacting that way because some of y'all are so precious and amazing that's probably just what I would do. I'm just saying. I'd be like, hey, I understand that, that is a very beautiful deer. However, he also is how many points on him? Yeah, I was gonna say, well, sorry. Since you have marked yourself as a douchebag, that means it's open season on you. Oh my god. Okay, we've got the High Priestess, the Two of Wands. Oh, yeah, maybe you were, like, really obsessed with this person at first, and you were like, it's so cute and beautiful. Maybe you really liked his bad boy persona. You thought you were different. Yeah. Yeah. we all think that. Okay. Again, maybe you got confused from pile number 3. Which if you resonated with pile number 3, check it out. Otherwise, if not, that's fine. Because some of y'all, you're just dating frogs at this point. With the High Priestess, are you doing some like voodoo witchcraft spell work on this person? Oh, that is not the alignment that I fit into. So I'm gonna tell you don't do that, but obviously you do you, free will. I am not the reader for that kind of energy, because I feel like you should transmute this energy into something that works for you and is positive to you, and let God to do the karma. Because trust me, like I said, there's kind of a dual energy here between badass warrior chick that's out in the field that knows how to hunt deer, and then there's the quiet witchy person. But in general, I think there's just this unacknowledged anger or resentment towards what happened here. Because at the end of the day, it's still a deer, right? This person's a deer person. They are operating based off of what their nature tells them to do. And you happen to get played. And so you want to be very careful with this revenge energy here, or this obsession with trying to get back at this person or get back with this person, simply because this person, they're pretty strong. And they're pretty capable of defending themselves, Like, if you ever see deer out in the wild, like, if you've ever been charged by a deer, they're pretty formidable. And so this obsession with, like, hunting your enemies, it's not going to bring you satisfaction. It's not going to bring the relationship to a close, and there's something about, like, there's a spiritual lesson here about when it's open season on douchebags and when you're just out there slaughtering animals for no reason, right? And again, with the Two of Wands here, I feel like you've got to balance two different energies out. You're trying to protect yourself and you're trying to protect your heart when you really should be crying. And there's something you're not acknowledging about what went on between you and this other person, and that's why it hurts so bad. It was important to you. That's enough. Case closed. You don't have to go out there and, like, destroy his family. Oh, my God. You got love, adore, admire, enchantment. You're like, I know, Chris, but like, I want to because they're all trash too. And you're like, I know that that is how you feel on this day. On this, I'm recording this as of March 24th, 2025. On this day, you are filled with rage. However, take it as someone who is potentially older than you, or potentially not. I don't think this is the best way to handle this situation. Because karma does come with a price. Even if you are doling out, like, yeah, so maybe you do go open season on somebody who has hurt you, and you're not going to always like the result of that. Because what if, for example, you kill the wrong deer? Or maybe this was someone who was going through something, and now you turn into the asshole hunter in the forest, right? Now, I'm being told to give this analogy, right? So, because I am from Pennsylvania, and I have gone hunting. And one of the things that they teach you before you get licensed is they teach you about the ecosystem with deer in Pennsylvania. And one of the things that's interesting about why you hunt the alpha deer, you know what I mean, the big bad buck or whatever that everyone's like, oh yeah, look at that. Part of it, yes, it is, cool to be able to bag a deer that is, really big and amazing, right? But what people don't understand is that actually helps the ecosystem. And the reason why that is because the bigger that deer gets and more aggressive and stronger, there's a certain point where those alpha male deer actually start causing an imbalance in the forest because they start eating too much of the resources. They start scaring off all the other deer. And then suddenly it can actually destroy an environment if there aren't predators taking down those particular deer. And so what we're often taught is, there's a balance to these things because obviously you want enough deer for people to hunt, but also too, when there's an overpopulation of deer, they're running into traffic. They're hurting people. And since we got rid of a lot of the wolves to keep people safe, we have to naturally then play that role in the ecosystem artificially, right? And so, once again, when it comes to the nature of a hunter, there's a huge difference between someone who is hunting and honors the animal versus someone who's doing it for sport, right? There's a huge difference between the hunter that says, all right, everything that I gather from this animal, I'm thanking nature for providing me this meal for my family. I honor the animal and the ecosystem that it comes from, and saying, hey, I'm just going to go bag a deer because it looks cool. Because of Instagram. Because I want to look tough. Right? And that's where your feminine energy needs to kind of get back into alignment with what, like, picking and choosing your battles. Right? Because it's like, again, maybe that alpha male deer that you shot has got nasty diseases inside it, and then you just fed it to your family. You know what I mean? That's why you always got to be careful whenever you're balancing that energy. And you have it naturally, but someone's got to teach you how to navigate it a little bit. And again, life is a great teacher, but you also can avoid, whatever, being like, just because you're like, I'm a priestess, I'm really spiritual powerful, and blah, 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 blah. And then you try shooting the wrong person, and then it's going to hit you so hard, bitch slap you back into oblivion and be like, go back in the closet. You know what I mean? And with love, like, love isn't a great excuse for this kind of obsession. Okay? You adored and admired your connection with this person. You were enchanted. That doesn't mean you gotta go out and harm people. Okay? I'm reminding you of the love that's inside of you. Because, again, the emotions of hurt are justified and valid because they're your emotions and feelings. Your actions, on the other hand, speaks way more volumes to your values. And I'm not saying don't defend yourself and protect yourself, but what I'm also saying is don't get violent in unnecessary ways. There's no need to go and attacking people that have nothing to do with the situation, right? That's when you start getting into some evil territory. And again, even like whatever your alignment is, you can't take some of those words back. You can't take some of those choices back if you go down that route. And then you become what other people are going to then hunt after you, right? There's an ecosystem, there's a balance. And whatever role you choose to play in these scenarios, you have both. Not everyone has that choice. So deal it wisely. You have action, disconnected, awakening, realization, finding out, fear. Yeah, maybe you found out someone was cheating on somebody. Maybe you found a rotten egg. And now you're feeling so disconnected from your body. But at the same time, you're awakened. Use that fighting energy for good and balance yourself out. Transmute it. Access your inner hunter. Because again, like I said, the role of the hunter is to provide food for your family, to provide balance to the ecosystem. And I mean, yeah, you can have some fun with the sport too, but, be respectful. And there's something just very nature-oriented that you have to get back to your true nature. Okay? And not making this kind of energy about morality. Because again, when it comes to hunting deer, back in the day, our ancestors, they weren't thinking about the animal's thoughts and feelings. Not because they were assholes, but because it was an exchange. It was survival. Right? And some of you guys, you're lashing out against this person or your past person because it's out of survival. Of course you want to hurt somebody that hurts you. Even if you don't want to admit it. And that's the thing too, for some of y'all, you're like, this pile doesn't make any sense to me. When is this message going to start making sense? Because it's in you. Because somebody told you that you got to be disconnected. Either I'm this warrior, aggressive person and evil for standing up for myself, or I'm disconnected. If you got to do something to take care of your family, then do it. But understand what are those consequences of each choice, right? Like some of y'all, if you're doing voodoo, witchcraft, certain aspects that you don't know what you're doing and what you're messing with. There are lots of practitioners and healers out there. We all have different gifts. And we all learn, because part of living life is making mistakes and whatnot. But what I am saying, though, is when you start getting into the realm of saying, I'm going to evoke something, there's always a cost and a price to this stuff. It's always written in the fine print, because an energy interaction goes out, another one has to be received. So that's why when people are talking about you get what you put out, that's not always necessarily true. Because you can put good things out into the world, and you can get a lot of negative backlash coming back at you. Hell, that came up a lot in some of the previous piles. The same is reverse. Just because you put something negative out there in the hopes of it doing something good and positive, you can get a lot of positive feedback, right? But what happens when that hunter energy turns on you? What if someone else loved that deer? And so when they saw you hurting it and killed it, maybe they're going to come after you now. Just something to think about. Because like I said, just because you can bag one deer doesn't mean you can bag them all. And what's even interesting too, because I keep being like, why am I saying bag a deer? Like, I don't talk like that normally when I talk about hunting. But that's what I'm saying this energy is it's about needless destruction coming from lack, the obsession with feeling powerful over something that was very neutral. Even though you're like, well, this person intentionally hurt me. I was like, this person has no idea, one, maybe that they hurt you, or two, that's what they're ingrained with. That's what they're in tune with. That's their frequency. If you raised your frequency, you would have seen that person and you would have maybe prevented things. Where are you stepping out of this? And like, you're not going to sit here and say all deer are evil because you happen to get screwed by the wrong one, right? And yeah, maybe there's a lot of deer out there that do that kind of shit. But the point is, though, is you had something important with this person. Don't go out there and ruin who you are or ruin someone's reputation because you can't handle your emotions and thoughts and feelings. And because you're disconnected from them. Because again, you're swinging back and forth between I feel nothing, I'm trying to numb out to prevent the hunter from coming out. And that doesn't solve anything. It's in the middle. You're trying to be like, I'm going to be neutral, but then I want to go kill everybody. You know what I mean? Like there's no in between. There's no hostility. And the loss of love is causing this obsession. The loss of love of yourself and the loss of love between you and this person. So take a time out. Figure out what you're afraid of. Because you're afraid of this person. Right? Like, again, when it comes to deer are just deer. They're not, more than likely, not going to hurt you. So the fact that sometimes you got to let them go, let someone else deal with the karma of this one. Okay? And again, I know you want to stand up for yourself, but again, the role of that energy is protection, not self-harm. And with the wands, again, you guys are trying to like gear yourself up for war when like I feel like you're trying to protect someone when that's not what this is about. And I think like finding out the truth is what really sets you apart from others, right? And maybe that's where the distortion happened, is the realization of what the reality is that maybe that person was just another deer in the ecosystem. You don't have to go out there and shame people or judge them or bash them on social media because you were wounded. That this person reminds you of a much bigger issue. And you want to take action. And that's okay. Guys, like here's the thing, is like I'm not shaming this energy. I'm saying that the shame that's creating this energy and around it is what's preventing the action. Because you're not allowed to feel this, especially if you're a female-bodied person. You're not allowed to just express your rage and your pain and then go back to minding your business because everyone thinks that's like a call to war. When it's like, no. So then you have to be like, all right, well, I can't express my pain publicly, so I'm going to sit behind a tarot reader or a tarot reading and I'm going to do everything in secret. I'm going to sit here and try to be like, yeah, I'm going to figure out what the right thing to do is. But secretly I'm putting pins in the voodoo doll. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't work that way. You have to understand the animal to know what's for you and what's for not, what's good for you. Okay? Like, you know what I mean? It's like I get this energy of being like, maybe you're an amateur hunter, for example. You stick with the metaphor, okay? You're an amateur hunter and you're going out there being like, yeah, I'm going to go kill some deer just like my ancestors did. And you just pick one and then you shoot wherever. And you can't do that because first of all, you can injure a deer, not kill it, and then that thing is running around being tormented and you can die a really horrible death. Or, again, it's just wounded, but it's still alive, running around now with its wound. And what does that have anything to do with the nature of what you're trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what the role of the hunter is. That's not what makes you strong and powerful and strong-willed. And sometimes that deer. Actually, you know what? We could say the beer. Sometimes that deer or that beer can come back to bite you. Some of y'all don't drink and have your phone by you, okay? Like that's exactly where. Yeah, you shouldn't be using substances to have access to this energy. But I get it. It's hard, and especially like with fear. Maybe you're afraid of how much you love this person. Maybe you're afraid of love in general. It's a lot easier to just be open season on people instead of being like, hey, actually, you know what? I know I'm not like you, but I'm not an object and neither are you. You know, because a deer's a living, breathing animal, just like you. Even though we're people, we're still animals. Okay? And that connection between two living beings, that just needs to be acknowledged. You know, there's the respect of a hunter again for what it's killing, because you're not doing it because you're trying to prove a point. You're not trying to be morally right or wrong. You're not trying to harm. You're literally like, hey, I'm part of an ecosystem. So figure out where your role is in the ecosystem. Maybe you want to save the deer. But remember, there's no saving deer or animals or any of this stuff. Okay? There's just adjusting the ecosystem. And when you awaken to this balance of how nature actually works, and your nature works, then you can start getting some answers. And then you're not going to be afraid of your demons. You're just going to be able to acknowledge them and understand that maybe they weren't demons at all. They were just hurt. And trying to find their place. And maybe that's where the lack of connectivity comes from. Is just not knowing your place. And preventing yourself from taking the actions that you need to do. Okay? Disconnect from social media. Disconnect from this person. Walk away. I know you love that deer, but if it's gotta get away, it's gotta get away, okay? There's much bigger things out there. Much bigger game, okay? Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and share if you like this reading. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, links are in the description down below. Check out my website for a list of resources for mental health, social work type stuff. And yeah, and also check out my blog, because there's a lot of articles in there. And yeah, also check out some of my other YouTube videos as well. Finally, make sure you check out the art by Illustrated Ink by Leila. Follow her on Instagram and all that good stuff, and check her stuff out on Etsy. Yeah, and follow me on Instagram too, to get all the deets and updates and stuff. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye!